I feel like we have reached a really, really important moment in the Warhammer 40k timeline. Like the real life GW, Games Workshop, Warhammer 40k, us as consumers timeline in our journey in this messed up, symbiotic, parasitic relationship that exists. Who's the parasite, you can decide. But I don't think anyone's talking about this, but I've been thinking about this for a few days now. With the release of the Dark Eldar Codex, we have reached the end of the line in many ways. The end of the Great Purge. Games Workshop has basically been carrying out a Stalinist-esque purge of their model lines, and they've just been like, if you're not in plastic, you're goners. And Dark Eldar, I think, were the last faction to get their codex, which, boy, do I know how that feels. We all know how that feels with fucking, Guard at the end of 9th edition, right? But we've got to the end of the Great Purge now, and the big question for me is, like, what's next? What is next? I mean, there's a few little holdouts in Forge World. Like, there's still an Avenger Strike Fighter and a Cyclops Demolition vehicle that needs, maybe it needs hunting down and eliminating. But what is next? Because it does feel like one thing I would say is Games Workshop, you should never underestimate them. They are very good at working on long-term plans. People think they're not, but they are. It's why I got so annoyed about the whole Deathwatch thing. The releasing, like, Agents of Imperium. Hey, look, Deathwatch is still going to be okay. You'll be all right. And then, So Games Workshop are good at working on long-term plans. So what we see now is 2 years behind what Games Workshop sees. And there's been so much loss. I actually want to do a video on this. Auspex Tactics did one halfway through the edition, but I think we need another one now. Either he can make it or I'll make it, but we need a video on this, which is how many data sheets, how many units were lost over the course of 10th edition. I mean, Dark Eldar lost something like a fifth, 20% of all of their models, because loads of the Coven stuff was like in Finecast and shit. So, Dark Eldar lost like a fifth, and that's like one faction. And then, Guard have gone down, we had like over 100 data sheets, and now we've gone down to like 60. Marines had over 100 data sheets. They're down to less than that now. A lot of, I think we must have lost 1,000 data sheets. That sounds like a crazy, crazy, crazy number, but from the beginning of this, I would say from the beginning of this policy, sort of mid-9th to where we are now in the last, maybe, but it really has ramped up, especially in 10th edition. But it feels like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was close to 1,000 data sheets. I wouldn't be surprised if it was closer to 1,000 than 0, if that makes sense. Like, if 500 is the middle mark, that doesn't make sense at all. But I think it's over 500. So the big question is, like I said, what do we do now? There's two solutions. There's two possible paths. There's two possible paths. And one of them is we're in for a golden age, boys. And this is the one that I personally hope for. I pray for. Please. This is what I really, 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 really want. I really hope that we are in for a golden age A golden age, boys. I hope that Games Workshop has got rid of all the fine cats and all the metal stuff, and their new factory, they'll sort the bats out, and the new factory will come online, and their production capacity will ramp through the ceiling, and that 11th edition, not even 11th edition, the end of 9th, like from now until the end, is going to be a golden age of where they're like, okay, we've got rid of all of the old stuff, and we know it's been painful, and we know that you guys have been pissed off about it, but you have no idea. Like, you guys are going to be eating so good. You're like, no, Games Workshop, please, I can't take any more models. And they're like, and here's another unit. And they're like, I really hope we get to a point where people start complaining about having too much choice. Do you know what I mean? I really, really feel like I really want there to be that moment when it's like, no, my steak is too juicy and my lobster is too buttery. That's the kind of complaint I want. I want to be, looking at units getting released and being like, Games Workshop, like, I love it, but why the fuck did you make this? I'm like, because we thought you'd like it. I'm like, you know what, I do like it. I'll buy one anyway. There you go. I mean, not from you directly because you have a price, but, I'll get one from Element Games for 25% off. Or 20% off, whatever it might be. But yeah, I really hope that's what that's the direction that they go in, and they're like, look, we're ramping up. You guys are going to be paying shitloads of money for this, but it's fine because we're going into a golden age, and you're going to be like, look, you know what, GW, I'm happy to hand over my 60, 70, probably 80 quid for Rogal Dawn by the time 11th edition is out. I'm happy to hand that money over because I can see the amazing work you're doing, and I want to support you. Like that, or maybe, they've purged a lot of these model lines, but they're like, okay, we're going to start bringing back better intro bundles, and we're going to start bringing back deals, and, fucking Snapfit guards when are coming back, and we're like, yes! They're like, but new and improved Snapfit, we're like, yes! That's the direction that I hope for, and it sounds really naive as I say it. Like, I don't really believe that's the direction that we're going to go down, but I really hope that is the direction that we go down. But yeah, and I hope that every faction is eating good, and we get all the rules and all the models and everything. It's just mwah, mwah. And like, there's so much choice that we don't know what to choose from. That's what I hope. That is really, 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 really what I hope. And I do think that might be a direction they're going in. As mental as it sounds, what have we seen leaked recently? I don't know if they've announced it officially now, but whatever. New Calgar stuff, right? New Calgar. I know a lot of people have been saying, like, fucking hell, how have they released another Calgar model? And I think it's because the old one was in like Gravis Arm, the new one's in like Terminator Armor. It's very obviously a cash-in on Space Marine 2, fine, whatever. But in a funny sort of way, there's two ways of looking at this, right? There's two ways of looking at this. The one way of looking at it is, oh, they're just milking Space Marines. Which, yes, that's probably what they're doing. But second way of looking at it is that this is the beginning of gain. We've been through an era of loss, and this will be an era of gain. Because if Games Workshop was gonna start pumping out shitloads of new models after they've purged all of the old models, which faction would they obviously start with? The Imperial Guard. Which faction would they obviously start with? Space Marines. And think of how much new Space Marine shit we've seen over the last few months. Not even few months, few weeks, right? They've got all new combat patrols for like every single chapter that you can think of. Everyone's got new characters and everything. They've gone mental. They've gone absolutely mental. I mean, we've been focused on a lot of negative shit on this channel because I've been a salty boy, a salty, little pussy. But, truth is that, but truth is, they have one faction which hasn't been suffering from that at all has been Marines, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing Marines go above 100 data sheets again, because they went down to about 90 at the beginning of the edition from the index to the codex. I bet they're over 100 again now. They've got to be, right? Does 100 Space Marine data sheets? They've got to be. So yeah, I think that I'm being optimistic. I'm being positive, and I hope that the Great Cleanse is over, the Great Purge is over, the edition of loss is over, and we are now entering the edition of gain. And I think all this new Space Marine shit coming out, whilst it doesn't interest me personally, I think it's a good sign for things to come. So that's the first path that we could be heading down. And that's the path that I choose to hope and pray, really hope, that is where we're going. The other path is you can always cut more. No. Wait. They could cut more. And I ain't just talking Forge World and Finecast. They've got rid of all of that now. What if they... At first, they came for the metal models. And I did not speak out, for I did not have metal models. Then, they came for the Finecast models. And I did not speak out, for I did not have Finecast models. Then, they came for my plastic models. And I was really fucking annoyed. Aircraft could go. It'll go one or two ways. Either they'll make aircraft really OP, because they're like, we haven't sold any of these in a little while. Or the new players that we brought into the game don't have any. So now we need to make them buy them by making them really good. Because that's what GW does. That's why they do this. Each edition it swings massively. Because they get a whole bunch of new players in each edition. How many people here started in? How many people here started in 10th? You've never bought a Valkyrie. But in 11th edition, if they made Valkyries really good, you'd buy 3 of them, right? Like, GW knows exactly what they're doing. Anyone who's been in this game for longer than one edition knows exactly what's coming. Either aircraft get made OP as fuck, or they get cut. There's no in between. There's no, oh, they'll just make them viable. No. They'll either be... I'm just telling you, they are waiting to make the Aegis Defense Line an auto-include. And no, the Aegis Defense Line is probably one that's going to get cut. Yeah. So yeah. So that's the other thing that could happen. But I think it'll be. I think there'll be good. I think they'll bring new stuff out now. I think they've cleansed the model lines. I think they've freed up production capacity, and I think they will be coming out hard and fast with a lot of updates. I mean, I don't think they'll wait for 11th. I think it'll start now. I think it'll be bang, 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 bang. Just. I think there'll be loads of shit coming out, and they'll start with Marines, because Marines always get milked twice every edition. They get milked at the beginning, and and they get milked at the end. So I think we're going to be in for a time of great marine milk. A great marine milking is going to happen. And then 11th edition will come. And then they'll milk us some more. Yeah. So yeah, that's where I think it's going to go. That's where I think it's going to go. But the great marine milking, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. We'll see, though, you know. I still think it's a fucking Liberty Element Games listed the ADL and Ash Minotaur Essentials. That is a fucking Liberty. Yeah. Bad Rabbit. I'm fucked either way. Thunderbolt's gone, man. I'll be outside. Too soon. 11th edition is when we will see the impact of the amount of money 10th edition has made. Yeah, exactly. They made an ungodly amount of money in 10th. And okay, so yeah, that's a really good point, and it's sort of the last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll do the super chats. It'll be really interesting to see what Games Workshop does, because they made an ungodly amount of money with 10th so far. And there's two things they might do. Either they reinvest a significant portion of it and we get the addition of gain, or they just bank it. But in a weird sort of way, I feel like 10.5/11th edition being more of the same in terms of rules is actually quite a good sign. Because I feel like if they're doing more of the same in terms of rules, that's because their focus is going to be on delivering something else. Rather than a great reset, their focus is going to be on delivering something else. I hope so, anyway. I hope more of the same doesn't mean more of the absolute minimum effort. Because it has been, I mean, like, how fucking shit has Dreer been for so long? You know, it does feel like, Games Workshop's been putting absolutely minimum effort into certain parts of Warhammer 40k gameplay points and stuff like that. So, but why would you put a huge amount of effort into something which is going to be, which you're going to be changing up? Which you're going to be changing up. So I think 10th edition will be, 11th edition will be more of the same in terms of sort of rules and all that kind of stuff. But I think it'll be a time of great gain, where Games Workshop's like, okay, we've got the core rules where we want them. Now we can start hammering units into this. And basically 10th will be the skeleton and 11th will be the meat on the bones. Yeah. That's what I hope anyway. We don't know. But that's what I hope. 11th edition 4 reset? I don't think so. If it is, I'm not actually against it being a 4 reset, depending on which direction it goes in. But I'm not against it being a 4 reset. If GW released 11th edition tomorrow, it would be... They're not going to. They're going to release it next year. Reset makes more money. Yeah, it does. Yeah. But we shall see. It's interesting seeing the responses in chat, though. A lot of people are very, very skeptical. Like Dustin Polos, I'm mainly worried about the unit release being replaced with just endless character models. They're clearly overpriced, it's more profitable, much less work. Great point. Chonkules, absolute minimum effort has generated absolute maximum profit. Shareholder will expect a continuation of that. That's a good point. CR Smith, I really hope that at the end of 10th edition, they release one big massive book with all the faction rules and core rules updated to the final version after all the edition is done. I mean, I don't think they will. They'll just move on to the next edition. I mean, we all hope, but I think they'll just be like, 10th is dead. See you later. 11th. Yeah. It's because GW, Mad Larkin, it's because GW has bummed the community too many times. Full reset bums us all hard. Yeah. Yeah. I think the sense I'm getting is we all hope for the best, but we're all preparing for the worst. All right. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full-time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Redfield, 32, Jurgens, Miasma, Try Again, Bragg, RJ, Scorpion, Bonbon Vert, Lord Pryor, Nicholas Walsh, John Stubbs, Guardian, Varney, Sword, Fish Trombone, Picklock the Forged. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.